In the headlines, NPC commissioner abducted in Rivers, kidnappers demand 500 million naira. One injured as fight erupts in Ikare Akoko community, Ondo State. 1.6 million candidates to sit for 2023 UTME. And on the international scene, Joe Biden at 80 announces 2024 re-election bid. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. The Federal Commissioner for Bayelsa State at the National Population Commission, Gloria Izonfor, has been kidnapped by unknown gunmen in Rivers State. Confirming the incident via phone call, the police public relations officer Grace Iringikoko said Izonfor was kidnapped on Sunday evening along with her maid and driver at Ogbakiri Junction on the East-West Road. The NPC commissioner was reportedly on her way back to Port Harcourt from Brass, Bayelsa State, where she serves as federal commissioner, when her vehicle was set on fire by the kidnappers. As of Monday, the abductors are said to have made contact with the family and are demanding for 500 million naira as ransom. The police PRO also reveals that the Commissioner of Police has deployed tactical teams to ensure she is rescued safe and unhurt. The fragile peace in Ikare Akoko, the headquarters of Akoko Northeast local government area of Ondo State, was on Monday broken as there were heavy gunshots in the town. Youths armed with guns and other dangerous weapons unleashed terror, moving around the town and shooting sporadically. During the fracas, commercial activities were said to be grounded as nearby shops were hurriedly shut down and people fled the area. The spokesperson of Ondo State Police Command, SP Fumilayo Odunlami Omisonya, confirmed the incident. She, however, disclosed that policemen have been drafted to the area, adding that peace is gradually returning. The paramount ruler of the town, the Olukare Oba Akadiri Momo, had last week appointed an acting chief imam for the central mosque, an action that sparked off a controversy in the town. The state government subsequently directed the monarch to nullify his action in order for peace to reign in the town. Still talking security, men of the Nigeria Police Force have rescued a pastor, Nicodemus Ude, of the Nigeria Reformed Church Edufu Egbu Ishieke in the Ebonyi local government area of the state. According to information gathered, Ude was initially kidnapped and eventually let go by his captives following a distress call to members of the public by his assistant, who was with him at the time of the incident, to block the road the kidnappers intend using to exit the area with their victim. In a statement by the Ebonyi State Police Command spokesperson, SP Onome Onowakboyeya, the kidnappers were intercepted along Ndofia Isheke and Ndufu Egbu Isheke in Ebonyi State, where they abandoned the victim and took to their heels while exchanging gunshots with the police to pave way for their escape. Onowak Boyeya said the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Faleye Olaleye, mobilized his team and the Divisional Police Officer of Ebonyi Division to cordon off and barricade marked out areas upon receiving the message that a clergy had been kidnapped. He said the kidnappers were overpowered by the firepower of the police, which led to one of them being neutralized and the arrest of two other principal suspects. Items recovered from the suspects include 2 AK-47 and 1 rifle, as well as 2 vehicles, including that of the victim. The Kano State Fire Service says it recorded 258 fire incidents in 3 months in different parts of the state. The Director of Service, Hassan Muhammad, disclosed this in an interview on Tuesday in Kano. Muhammad said the incidents were recorded in companies, dwelling houses, shops, filling stations, markets, poultry farms, and motor vehicles, among others. He said most of the fire incidents were caused by misuse of electrical appliances, overload of electrical outlets, plugging too many things into one outlet, and use of fake and substandard electric cables. Mohammed advised the public to desist from storing petroleum products at home, refueling generator sets while it is on, and repairing faulty gas cylinders at home. The director also urged residents to always turn off gas burners and cylinders when not in use and stop using mosquito coils close to the kitchen. Moving on to education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has commenced the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination nationwide. Data obtained from the examination body revealed that close to 1.6 million candidates across over 700 centers are expected to take the examination, which will come to an end on May 12, 2023, so as to give room for the registration for the direct entry examinations. Our correspondent, who visited some centers in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, observed that candidates are being checked into the examination halls through the use of biometric verification machines. Though some candidates say that they encountered hitches during the verification process, officials on ground noted that all the glitches will be resolved. The examination was earlier scheduled to commence on Saturday, April 29, 2023. The board, in an earlier statement by its spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin, explained that the change in the date of the UTME was to accommodate some other major and critical national assignments. Similarly, as the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board commences the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations on Tuesday as well, candidates at some centers in Jos, Plateau State have identified some technical hitches with the exercise. The candidates also complain of time constraints, as the time stipulated by the examination body is not enough to finish all the subjects registered for the exam. Ado Musa completes the report.
Just like in other states of the Federation, the 2023 UTME began on time, with officials of the board already set for the exercise. In most of the centers visited by Trust TV in Jos, candidates for the first batch were seen waiting for the exercise to commence. However, some candidates who participated in the first batch of the exercise expressed dissatisfaction with the network and the computers used during the exams.
And I was prepared for the exam very well. I was reading well, like throughout the nights I was reading my books. So when I came for the examinations, I saw, like, before I was having tension, like all these anxieties for writing the exams. But many people were complaining that the exams was like the connection was lost. Some could not even finish their exams. Like my friends were even complaining about it.
Yes, this is my first time of writing JAMB, but I really enjoyed it, although there was network problem. A lot of people could not finish because of the network and the timer, but all thanks to God Almighty. The time was not actually enough, but we thank God.
Before the JAMB exam, yes, I was prepared to an extent. I was able to cover a lot in my syllabus, so I was prepared. But then the only problem when we arrived at the JAMB hall was that, okay, the time was a bit short for me to finish everything, and that was not even my main issue. Like their systems, I will give it an F9 in their systems, because at first my system got off. After my system got off, they changed my seats. My timer was around 18 to 19 minutes left, but they still shut down my system saying the exam is over. I don't understand why. We're gonna meet our parents will say we failed.
While complaining about the technical hitches experienced during the exams, the candidates, however, advised the JAMB to improve on the process.
Lose their exams and people want to lose marks, because it's causing problem to other students, and their parents will think maybe like their children are not reading, or maybe their children are not even participating in the examination. So I would like so the country will like provide more connection and more data.
They should please monitor the centers they are giving anyhow to be doing JAMB for us, because some centers will just be doing what us we don't know, and they'll just be failing us anyhow. Now I have parents to go and JAMB at home. I don't even know what to go and tell them now.
About 1.6 million candidates are participating in the exercise, which is expected to end on May 3rd this year. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
In health, the House of Representatives says malaria still remains a major public health challenge in Nigeria due to many factors. The House spokesperson, Benjamin Kalu, in a statement to commemorate this year's World Malaria Day, stated that 4 African countries, including Nigeria, accounted for over half of all malaria deaths worldwide. He said Nigeria alone accounted for 31.3% of global malaria deaths, followed by the Democratic Republic of Congo at 12.6%, the United Republic of Tanzania 41%, and Niger 3.9%. Kalu identified the challenge of addressing the malaria burden in Nigeria as donor dependence for intervention in the country. He noted that to address this, the sum of over $300 million has been approved under the World Bank and the Islamic Bank Impact projects to address and complement donor support. The theme of this year's celebration is Time to Deliver Zero Malaria, Invest, Innovate, Implement. The World Health Organization says the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine, given provisional approval by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, still needs to undergo more trials. The trials are to be recommended by the WHO. WHO country representative to Nigeria, Dr. Walter Mulombo, during a media parley at the UN House in Abuja on Tuesday, also restated the importance and efficacy of the RTSS vaccine adopted by countries like Ghana and Kenya. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Malaria Day during Africa Vaccine Week and World Immunization Week, Mulombo also emphasized the need for proper policy funding and education in the efforts to get Nigeria and Africa to zero malaria. He noted that 96% of the world deaths and 97% of world infections from malaria occurred in Africa, while Nigeria contributed to 79% of Africa's unvaccinated children. The Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere has said some Nigerians are hurt by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration are no longer alive. In a statement, Afenifere's National Publicity Secretary Jare Ajayi said Nigerians may be disposed to forgive Buhari if he effects changes to alleviate suffering in the country before he transfers power to the president-elect Bola Tinubu on May 29. Last Friday, President Buhari asked Nigerians to forgive him for any way he has hurt them. But Afenifere said it would have been much better if the president had listed the pleas made to him over the years regarding the unfriendly, if not retrogressive steps his administration has taken. While advising Buhari to take decisive action that will permanently halt insecurity in the country and ensure immediate payment of the 8-month salary of university lecturers, the group said efforts should be made to ensure that those in IDP camps are resettled in their ancestral homes and that the stranglehold on the economy, especially through unfriendly fiscal policies, be relaxed so that economic activities can quickly bounce back. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at security of telephone conversations. Stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. We told you that NPC commissioner abducted in Rivers State. Kidnappers demand 500 million naira. We also heard that one injured as fight erupts in Ikare Akoko community, Ondo State. Moving to more news, some residents of Yola, the Adamawa State capital, on Tuesday besieged the Yola Electricity Distribution Company Operations Office in Jamaica to protest the poor power supply and exorbitant bills issued to customers, especially during the just concluded Ramadan fast. They say some customers are charged as high as 30,000 naira monthly, a situation they say is unjust because of the epileptic nature of power supply. Other residents complain that power is only available once a week while they remain in darkness for the rest of the week. At the time of filing this report, no YEDC staff was on ground to address I'll take that again, I apologize. No YEDC staff was on ground to address it to the protesting customers. However, security operatives have manned the entrance of the building to restrain movement and forestall breakdown of law and order. The commonest and most important aspect of a mobile phone is voice calls. Before now, it was among some of the few secured aspects of a mobile phone. However, with advancement in technology, the privacy of phone calls has been taken away as leaked phone calls have exposed the fact that calls are no longer secure. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks with Nigerians on the rise in leaked conversations and what it portends for the future of phone calls.
Phone calls were usually regarded as private conversations between parties involved. Such chats have over the years stayed so. In recent times, calls are increasingly being leaked as the public space is frequently inundated with leaked conversations that are meant to be private. Technologically, there are apps that enable phones to record conversations, while some phones allow users to either manually or automatically activate call recording. Also, there are apps that enable third parties to tap phone lines of unsuspecting users to record conversation or access certain kinds of data. A tech expert, Deji Mike, identifies some of the signs that point to the fact that one's phones may have been hacked.
There are some basic signs to look out for to know if your phone is being tapped. Number one should be, I think, the battery consumption. Once your line is being tapped, your phone is being tapped, your battery seems to do it more and gets hot. Gets as the temperature of the phone gets hot because it's overworking beyond its capacity. Another thing to look out for is your data consumption, because it's transmitting somewhere else, another different device. The data seems to run down to get exhausted on time.
The recent gale of leaked conversations among relatives, colleagues, or friends have raised the level of distrust among many Nigerians who are wary of the kind of conversation they engage in during phone calls.
I prefer one-on-one conversation. Like a couple of times, if I had conversation with someone, maybe, I don't know, somehow I get to hear it from someone else. It has happened to me personally. So I prefer to see the person one-on-one, we discuss it. You get, yeah, instead of phone calls.
For me, I don't really have trust conversation on phone because, this system of government now and the way of the civilization of technology. So they do hack system like phones, many things, even your WhatsApp, even the Facebook. They monitor the calls that come in, the calls that goes out, the chat, everything.
This scenario has made many to think of ways of holding conversations and restricting such to the parties involved without the likelihood of a leak to a third party.
Don't let your phone get to the wrong hands. As you don't, unlike those days, you can simply leave your phone with your kids or with your spouse or with your friend and walk away. You don't do that anymore because in a split second, they can gain access into your valid information. And there are some other websites also that are not really secured. Any website that does not have the HTTP is really not a secured site.
Despite the seeming distrust that such leaks promote, discussing over the phone has been known to help parties appreciate non-verbal cues like pitch and tone, as well as the silence in between. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The National Population Commission has advised members of the public not to entertain fears of cyber hacking, which was the subject of controversy with Independent National Electoral Commission in its recent national outing. The Kogi State Federal Commissioner in the NPC, Jimoh Habibat Isa, disclosed this to newsmen on Tuesday in Lokoja. He said hackers have tried up to 1,000 times to hack into the NPC cyber without success because of the capable and reliable hands handling the commission server. Isa added that the commission has embarked on vigorous sensitization in all the nooks and crannies of the state for everyone to be counted in the next month nationwide census exercise. He stressed further that the commission has removed the question of religion and ethnicity from focus because of the inherent danger it portends in the country presently. Now away from Nigeria, President Joe Biden announced Tuesday that he is running for re-election in 2024, plunging at the record age of 80 into a ferocious new White House campaign to finish the job. After a series of big legislative wins and momentous foreign policy struggles in his first 2 years in office, Biden has no real challenger from within the Democratic Party. But in a campaign that may result in a rematch of the 2020 election against Donald Trump, he is expected to face constant and fierce scrutiny over his age. The veteran Democrat would be 86 by the end of a second term, even if a medical exam in February found him fit to execute the duties of the presidency. Many, including in his own voter base, believe he is too old. The NBC News poll released over the weekend found that 70% of Americans, including 51% of Democrats, believe that he should not run. 69% of all respondents who say he shouldn't run cited concerns over his age as a major or minor reason. Over the next year and a half, Biden will have all the advantages of incumbency backed by a united party, while Republicans are only just starting a messy primary season. R&B singer Robert Sylvester Kelly, popularly known as R. Kelly, has been moved to a correctional center located in North Carolina, where he is expected to serve his 30-year prison sentence in connection with multiple sexual offenses. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Prisons announced he was moved to the Federal Correctional Institution in Butner, North Carolina last week from the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago. R. Kelly in February 2023 was sentenced to 1 additional year in prison for his Chicago conviction of federal child pornography and child enticement charges. This is in addition to the 30 years he's already serving for a separate conviction out of New York. In September, a federal jury in Chicago had convicted the singer of 6-count charges of sexual abuse against 3 women. The women had testified under the pseudonyms names Jane, Pauline, and Nia on video. And finally, in sports, the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote, is reportedly close to sealing a deal to purchase a French team, Valenciennes FC. The French media outlet claimed that the Nigerian, the 86th richest man in the world, would initially take over the 60% stake of the Eddy Zedzik family and will thereafter look to gain full control of the club, which was established in 1913. The 110-year-old club has spent an equal amount of time playing in League One and League Two, having played 40 seasons in the First Division and 36 seasons in the Second Division. Some notable former players of the club, including Argentina 1986 World Cup winner Jorge Burunchaga, Cameroon legend Roger Milla, former Senegal national team coach Bruno Metsu, and former France national team star Jean-Pierre Papin. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.